Hi there, this time it's Photokina time. Last week was a Photokina week, and I know the topic has been covered pretty extensively all around YouTube and all the websites, but since I went there, I want to give you my opinion too. But if you're already fed up with all the Photokina talk, I think it's better not to watch this video. But those of you who are still interested, here goes. This time was also a bit like historical time for Photokina. This was the last time. It was in September. From now on it's going to be in spring and every year. And it's going to be interesting if it attracts as much, because the spring is full of all kinds of big fairs globally. But we will see next spring how it goes. And since I'm not that far away from there, I already made preliminary plans to go there. This time, by far, the most interesting news was the alliance between Leica, Panasonic and Sigma. We know that Leica and Panasonic have been working together for years, but it was a really big surprise to see Sigma joining in. And I think it gives especially Panasonic really an advantage. The next spring, when their full-frame cameras will be ready for delivery, they will already have quite a good selection of lenses for them too. Even if they only announced 3 lenses, but Mr. Yamaki from Sigma promised to have all the art lenses also ready for the L mount, and he also promised some new lenses exclusively for the L mount. And then there are also, of course, those Leica L lenses, even though they are quite expensive maybe for some people, but still they are there and ready for Panasonic shooters also. So I think it gives Panasonic an edge in the competition now that they have right from the start, they have a pretty much like a full system already. They also said, Panasonic also said they will continue developing the Micro Four Thirds system, and I think it's a good choice, and it's still a valid system, especially for video shooters, but also for some still shooters who don't need the high megapixel count and value the small size and weight of their gear. And Leica, of course, gives some prestige and status for the whole system. And like I said, they already have a pretty good selection of lenses ready, although they are a bit expensive lenses. But it's only money. And Sigma also, they promised a new L-mount full-frame camera with the foveon sensor. And that's also going to be good news for those people who love the foveon like look or the image quality that the sensor makes. And we all know that Sigma lenses are a high quality and pretty affordable too. Then another camera that I really didn't see or even touch, but seemed really interesting, the most or the best like point and shoot camera I have ever used, the Ricoh GR. There's a new model or update called the GR3, and it has a new lens and new sensor, and the best part is the image stabilizer, which of course makes it so much more usable and gives the photographer much more flexibility in terms of low light shooting. I really look forward to testing the new Ricoh GR3 whenever it comes available. And then one really big also surprise came from Germany, from Zeiss. They announced a new fixed lens point and shoot, full frame point and shoot camera called ZX1. While I think the ZX maybe suits for Zeiss, but I think it's a stupid camera name, because the Z and X, they're being used so many times before, and even number 1, but anyhow, it doesn't make the camera any worse. Also, that camera I did not see, because as far as I understand, it was only displayed at the Zeiss event, and I didn't go there. but what I read about the camera, it looks really interesting, and it has some really interesting new features. It has integrated Lightroom and a big touch display, and as far as I can understand, it runs on Android operating system. And Zeiss tells us it makes sharing images really like easy and effortless, and those are some of the features that makes us use our smartphone cameras instead of real cameras. And now Zeiss promises to deliver some like smartphone usability in the form of real camera. Although I think there is no SIM card in the camera, which I think is a mistake, because I think it's always an extra step to connect to some external Wi-Fi to be able to share your photos. But still, it's a very interesting camera and some interesting features. It remains to be seen how usable the camera is, how does the autofocus work, and how fluent is the operating system and all the functions after all. And one thing is for sure, it's not going to be cheap. My guess is it's somewhere around 3,000 euro ballpark here in Europe, including the tax. And while you get a high quality lens and a high megapixel full frame sensor, it's still a lot of money for a fixed lens camera. There were of course many more interesting products at Photokina, but these were my top choices for this video, and I hope you liked my choices, and I'll see you next time.